Hey guys, Jarek here, and welcome to my review of the R1 UZI AEP. Before we talk about the airsoft Uzi, let's talk about the real Uzi. Now somehow, I don't have any film of me shooting a real full auto Uzi, even though I've shot one plenty of times. If you ever want to shoot a real full auto Uzi, find the closest machine gun shoot to you and go to it. I guarantee you they will have a full auto Uzi. Plenty of them were made. All you have to do is buy some 9mm ammo for it, and you can fire it. But since I don't have any real film of me shooting an Uzi to put into this review, we'll have to deal with video game content. The game you're seeing right now is Call of Duty Black Ops. My original plan was to go with Far Cry 2, however I didn't have the Uzi unlocked yet, so Black Ops will have to do. The real Uzi is an open bolt submachine gun chambered in 9mm. It was designed by an Israeli major named Uzziel Gal in the late 1940s. It was adopted by the Special Forces as early as 1954, and 2 years later into the main military. The Uzi was designed with the same mindset as the AK-47. Very small amount of large moving parts, making it very easy to use and very easy to clean. The Uzi is primarily made of stamped steel, making it very cost efficient. For these reasons, it has been exported to over 90 different countries and has been used in too many wars to list. Throughout the Uzi's lifetime, it's been made by numerous different manufacturers, including Israeli Military Industries, FN, Norinco, and Vector Arms. Under these different manufacturers, over 10 million Uzis have been made, so there's a good chance you've shot the real Uzi and now you want to get an airsoft one, so you're looking at this review. When you get your Uzi, it'll come in a box very similar to that of the Well R2 Scorpion and the Well R4 MP7. Inside of the box is no different story. It's a standard cardboard box filled with styrofoam. Inside of the box you'll find an instructional piece of paper, more or less. It's not even an instruction manual, and some of the things in this instruction manual are actually incorrect, so I would recommend not even paying any attention to it. For instance, it says to insert the battery arrow facing down when you actually need to insert it arrow facing up. Other than that, it's littered with your standard Chinglish. Apparently a foregrip is now a hand board. As usual, the BBs that come in the box aren't very high quality, so just throw them away. Also inside the box is a 7.2 volt battery that is compatible with Wells MP7 and Scorpion. As of right now, July 16th, 2012, this gun has not hit America yet, so if you order it, you will be ordering it from across seas, and it will not come with an American charger. This gun comes with a 190 round high cap magazine and also a low quality sling that I really don't recommend using because there's a very good chance it'll just break on you out on the field. And of course, it comes with the Uzi AEP, as well as a small unjamming rod that's about the length of the barrel of the Uzi. Now this gun only cost you $60 US, so it's very cheap. The external quality somewhat shows that, but for the most part, it's built pretty solid. Most of the body is tough ABS plastic with a few trouble spots, and the parts that need to be metal are metal, like the foregrip and the trigger. The gun is light, but still has a little bit of heft to it, and it's balanced very well, much like the real Uzi. In general, it's a pretty comfortable gun to hold. To insert the magazine into this gun, the loading nozzle must be facing backward, and you have to put a little bit of force to make it actually click into place. To unfold the stock, simply push a button and swing it around. It will click into place very positively, but it does have a little bit of wobble. Honestly, once you have the stock shouldered, you don't notice this wobble in any way whatsoever. With that said, the stock is one of the trouble points that I mentioned earlier. As you can see, there's some pretty large seams on the stock, and it overall doesn't look like it'd be very solid. Now don't get me wrong, the stock isn't going to break itself, but just be careful when you're using it. If you hit it too hard on something, there's a good chance it might snap. To fold the stock back up, push the switch over and fold it in half. Then you can push the original button, angle it into the lower receiver, and click it into place. Once the stock is locked into place, it is stuck there firmly, it will not unfold on itself. You have to do it in this order. If you do it in reverse order, it will not lock in place. Now there's three main trouble spots I noticed on this gun. The stock is the first one, the second one are the slings. It would definitely not be able to hold the weight of the gun, they're made out of ABS plastic, and the rear one is on the stock, and we already talked about the stock. I definitely would recommend finding another way to attach a sling mount onto this gun, because I do not trust these sling mounts in any way whatsoever. The third trouble spot is the magazine. You're probably asking why I have tape on it, and the reason is because it has a giant seam line across the front and the back of the mag, only held in place by a base plate. In theory, this could split the magazine in half, so I highly recommend either gluing these seams closed or putting some tape on your mags. There is good news about these magazines though. I've been able to find extra magazines for only $7, and I'm sure they'll be making mid caps as well. This means most likely that this gun is going to be a full production gun and will be just as findable as the Well R2 Scorpion and the Well R4 MP7. Which is great because before this gun came out, the only other Uzis you could find were the Tokimuri Uzi, which is discontinued, and the KWC Mini Uzi, which is a CO2 gas blowback gun that likes to go out of stock for months on end. This magazine loads like any other high cap. Simply open up a trapdoor on top, pour the BBs in, and wind it on bottom. The trapdoor is a little bit hard to open, so it might take some nails. This magazine holds almost 200 rounds and is made out of the same ABS plastic as Well's R2 drum magazine. When shooting this gun, I noticed absolutely no misfeeding issues and it just plain worked. Something I noticed about the selector switch is that it's backwards. Safety is where full auto should be, and full auto is where safety should be. This makes it basically impossible to switch the selector switch using one hand. You're supposed to be able to flick it forward with your thumb. But when it's backwards, you basically can't pull it backward with your thumb. It's a very odd movement, so you have to use your left hand to put it on full auto, which is sort of annoying. The sights on this gun are true to the Uzi sights and are overall pretty good. They're adjustable left, right, and up and down. To adjust the hop-up unit on this gun, you open a hatch where the bolt would be and adjust the wheelbase top-up. Much like the magazine, this requires some nails and can be somewhat difficult to open. It's important to mention that this is a Chinese-made AEP, so there's a pretty decent chance that you might end up getting a lemon hop-up unit. When you're done adjusting your hop-up unit, close the hatch and it'll click into place, protecting your hop-up unit from dust. Like other AEPs, installing the battery is very simple. Push a button on the back of the upper receiver and lift the upper receiver itself off. From here you can also access your fuse, so if you blow a fuse, it's very easy to replace. When you install the battery, make sure the arrow is pointing upward, away from the gun. The instruction manual says to make sure it's pointing downward, but that's actually false. After installing the battery, simply click the upper receiver back into place and you're ready to fire. I also noticed something else a little bit strange about the selector switch. Go ahead and check it out. Yes, that is correct. If you move the selector switch from full auto to semi-automatic, it continuously will stay in full auto until you put it back to safe and then move it back to semi-automatic. It's a little strange, but it'll fix itself if you move it back to safe then semi-auto, so I can't complain too much. It's just very weird. Something else to point out is that the ducktail safety isn't actually functional, it's purely cosmetic. The mag ejects the same way a normal Uzi magazine would. Simply pushing a tab on the left-hand side of the grip, and you can pull the mag out. However, if you're left-handed, I don't really recommend this gun too much. I could look past the selector switch being only on the left-hand side of the gun, but it makes it very easy to accidentally eject the mag if you're holding it left-handed. Now it's important to mention that this gun is an AEP. It may look somewhat large like your standard SMG, but there's really not much space behind the grip for a full-size gearbox, so you're pretty much left with just an AEP gearbox. That means this gun only shoots at 220 feet per second, however it shoots at a whopping 900 rounds per minute. And for an AEP, that's the best performance I've seen when it comes to the rate of fire. When I took this gun back to 100 feet, I had no problems hitting a man-sized target. However, I did notice the hop-up unit is not working exactly like it's supposed to. Most likely it's a V-shaped hop-up unit with a slight imperfection on the left-hand side, making the gun shoot left on full auto. This is easy to fix by simply sanding down this imperfection carefully, and it should work perfectly fine. Hop-up units being lemons in AEPs is actually not rare in any way whatsoever. When I shot at the headshot target from 100 feet away, it gave me the same results. Still an easy target to hit. And really this is all that should matter, because you're never going to be taking this gun into anything other than CQB. So the hop-up unit being somewhat of a lemon can almost entirely be looked over. Despite what I just said, I still wanted to take this gun back to 150 feet just to see what it could do. And at 150 feet away, shooting at the man-sized target on semi-automatic, I am able to hit the target, but it's not a consistent shot. With a hop-up unit that's less finicky, you probably would be able to hit this target a little bit more, but it's never going to be a consistent shot, so I don't recommend taking it. Its effective range is definitely 100 feet, and nothing more. Final conclusion of this gun. This gun has one roll and one roll alone. It's too large to be taken as a secondary in woodland and too small to be taken as a primary in woodland. that pretty much leaves you just with CQB, and it fits that role perfectly. This gun is easily maneuverable, has a rate of fire of 900 rounds per minute, and you don't need anything more than 220 feet per second in CQB. To top it all off, this gun is only 60 bucks. If you're an Uzi enthusiast and you're looking for your next CQB gun, get this gun. It is worth your money. That about sums up my review of the Well R1 UZI AEP. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. So, went over to Call of Duty Black Ops using the Uzi basically just to get film done for the review so I can talk about the real Uzi and have this playing in the background. So for those of you that watch me on my Airsoft account, some of this may look a little bit familiar because this will be showing up in the review that I have yet to post. I'll be posting that probably tonight. I've yet to edit it, that's why I was doing all this. Once that's edited, you'll see that over on my Jarek 4 account. But yeah, this is the same game I was posting. It obviously won't be the full game in the review. It's just when I'm talking about the real Uzi. So that's why I went to back to Call of Duty Black Ops. Don't plan on it sticking around for a while.
For some reason, I am really easily amused by this.